During their summit meeting in California 3 weeks ago, President Obama and China's President Xi Jinping agreed to work together on climate change. Now, both are acting. Last Tuesday, Obama announced a series of measures to cut U.S. emission of greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. And earlier, China announced plans of its own. With government encouragement, the city of Beijing is going to try to get a regional solution to its notoriously dirty air. Also, 7 cities are starting a pilot program to trade carbon. And China's Supreme Court has reinterpreted laws on water pollution. It's permitting heavier penalties for industrial polluters. Now, to tell us about this and other measures China's announced, we have Alvin Lin with us on Skype. Lin's with the Beijing branch of the U.S.-based Natural Resources Defense Council. Welcome back to LinkAsia, Alvin.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'm just curious, from your office there in Beijing, what does the air look like? Can you show us?
Yeah, well, right now the air is sort of a gray, hazy white color. I can show you here.
Okay.
And this has been happening quite a lot this last week. Not quite as bad as the air pollution that we experienced in January and February this year, when the air pollution was really off the scale. Today, it's about 160 on the Chinese Air Quality Index, and about 200 some on the equivalent of what would be the U.S. Air Quality Index.
What do those numbers mean?
Well, that's considered lightly polluted.
Lightly?
Lightly polluted, and then unhealthy on the U.S. scale.
Okay. So definitely a big difference between what China and the U.S. might define as lightly polluted. Lightly polluted according to the Chinese scale and heavily polluted according to the U.S. scale.
Yeah, that reflects a difference in the air quality index scales between the two countries, because China's a developing country. They have the sort of transitional World Health Organization air quality guidelines.
Now, Beijing is trying to get surrounding areas to curb their air pollution. How tough is it going to be to persuade officials in places like Hebei province and Tianjin city to cut their emissions?
Well, I think it will be challenging. You know, what the government has to do is they have to get the local provinces, local cities, to really put a lot of pressure on the enterprises that are polluting within their boundaries, and to try and find alternatives to burning all of the coal that they're burning, to making sure that they're running the pollution control equipment on the power plants that are burning the coal, or the factories that have the boilers that are burning the coal. And so I think that will be a challenge, but the central government has shown a lot of resolve to improve the environment, improve the air quality, not within 20 years, as you know, has sort of been the previous time frame, but really within 5 years to make a very notable increase in air quality.
We also learned that Shenzhen and other cities are experimenting with another possible solution, carbon trading. Good idea?
Yeah, I think this is a positive sign. It really does show, you know, that the government is trying to find market measures, find other ways to address carbon pollution. As with a lot of things in China, you know, they act first. There's a sort of a race to be the first. And here Shenzhen was the first pilot of the 7 to start carbon trading. I think there is going to be a lot of learning, a steep learning curve in the next few years in terms of how do you build a really robust carbon market. So that means, how do you measure, report, and verify the greenhouse gas emissions that are part of the trading? How do you ensure that there's no falsifying of data, that all of the reported emissions and the reported cuts in emissions are really there because you've created now a valuable product in terms of emissions trading credits, and ensuring that there's no leakage out of these systems.
Okay, so enforcement is key here as well as the new regulations.
Yeah.
Alvin, thank you so much.
Sure, pleasure.
Alvin Lin is Climate and Energy Policy Director at the Natural Resources Defense Council's branch in Beijing.
Now on U.S. airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.